Everybody, welcome back to the Great Lakes Disc YouTube channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Remember to subscribe, that helps us push these great videos out. Hey, today we've got an interview with none other than Team Stamp West from Discraft and Discraft Underground. We're really excited. Stay tuned to the end to win this Discraft hat or this sweet Great Lakes / Discraft buzz. Stay tuned. All right, and we're here with Wes Shinovar, aka Team Stamp Wes. How you doing today, team?
Doing good, doing good.
Excellent. Thanks for coming on the video, if you will. I remember you've done a lot of these with Discraft Underground, and you've done a few things, other ways. So we're excited for you to take some time to spend it with us. Why don't you tell the world your disc golf origin story, how you got into it?
Yeah, so like a lot of people, I had played disc golf when I was in high school, just a little bit, maybe two or three times, and had no clue what I was doing, but it was just a good way to get outside. And then really didn't play again until probably about 10 years later. I had some friends that were into some different frisbee sports, guts frisbee specifically, and so I went out with them and threw a disc. Like a lot of new players, grabbed a 12 speed and it just hyzered out of my hand. It went about 50 feet. But it really got me intrigued with disc golf. At the time, I was playing a lot of guts frisbees, so my disc golf origins kind of relate back to guts frisbee. Which, if you don't know what it is, there's plenty of YouTube content. You can go check it out. It's an awesome game, a lot of fun. And I was getting a little bit more involved with guts frisbee, and I got to a point where I really wanted to kind of get to a higher level position within the game. I really wanted to find a way to have an impact on the game, to help grow the game, to bring it to new people. It is a smaller sport. It's really difficult to get new people into. And I had a lot of ideas, but I didn't really feel like I was effectively able to kind of work with those ideas or work with a team of people that kind of shared those ideas. And so it was a little bit frustrating. So at the time, about that same time, I'm getting interested in disc golf, and happened to kind of come along a course, what would be a course in my local neighborhood, kind of a park that I used to jog by when I was running in the summers, that was just kind of vacant, kind of left. And so at the time, I thought, wow, this would be a great spot for a disc golf course, not really knowing much about course design or any of it. And kind of started on that project a little bit. And it was just extremely rewarding to be able to be involved with disc golf, to get a new course in the ground, to see people come and enjoy that course, to see the positive impact that it had on that park, taking it from a really negative space or a negative use space to something that was being used very positively. It was just really rewarding, and so I kind of found that joy that I was looking for of being involved in a disc sport at a little bit of a higher level, where I could really make an impact. I could really help grow the game. And that was probably 2017, I would say. So was playing some tournaments a little bit before that, but that was really kind of the point where I was like, I can definitely make a difference in disc golf, and that's something that I really really wanted to do.
Yeah, that's great. And the course you're referring to is at Whippets?
Yeah, Whippets Run at Ingham Park. It's a little 9-hole course, but it was something we didn't really have in the Lansing area. It was the first disc golf course on a City of Lansing property. And the park just had a lot of negative traffic. It's in my neighborhood, so very selfishly, I really wanted to improve my own neighborhood and also grow the game of disc golf at the same time.
Yeah.
So really, two birds with one stone. And it's a great course. We use it for our winter leagues, and throughout the summer, I see such a diverse group of people out there, from parents with their very young kids to college kids coming over from East Lansing, and new
Yeah.
players, experienced players. It's been awesome to see the use and how it's helped the disc golf community.
Yeah, well, I've gotten to attend that league a few times, paid into the membership a few times. It's definitely worth the travel if you're in the Michigan area. It's a fun Sunday morning league to hit, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
yeah. From Thanksgiving, Sunday after Thanksgiving, kind of through March, is when we run, so through the winter mostly.
That's awesome. So I introduced you as Team Stamp West. That's the nickname. That's what people, introduced you to me as. I've always kind of called you Captain, but how did that nickname come about?
Yeah, so really early on, I've always been a collector of things, I guess. When I was younger, I was into Pokemon, like a lot of 90s or kids, a lot of 80s babies,
Yeah.
and then collected sports cards kind of simultaneously or somewhat thereafter. Didn't do really a whole lot of collecting of things kind of through college. A little bit busy, but then more recently got back into sports cards. But so as I'm getting into disc golf, have always had this kind of collector bug, and was interested in, I don't know, kind of finding something to collect. Was a Discraft guy from early on. Really liked Nate Doss. I really thought he was just a stand-up guy. Listening to him talk was fun. Discraft was a Michigan company, which was something that I wanted to support, and so was just kind of active on a lot of the Discraft pages. And one day, our good Michigan friend Tim Barham posted a lot of discs for sale that included a Team Discraft stamped Buzz. I think it was green, actually, if I remember correctly. And I remember messaging him and saying, "Oh my gosh, I have to have that. It's the first one I've ever seen. That seems like a cool thing to kind of collect."
Yeah.
And so he had already sold it. So my dreams were immediately crushed. However, he had
Oh,
he had another one, a CT Challenger. I still actually have that. So that was the first team stamp disc that I bought, and from there I just liked it. I like I said, I enjoyed supporting Discraft. It was clearly a good company with really good values and easy to get behind, not just for the discs that they made, but for their values. It was something that I really felt resonated with me, and so the team Discraft idea also kind of resonated with me too. And so yeah, we kind of started traveling down that path of hoarding Team Discraft stamped
wow.
discs, which at some point led to a collection of like 120 or more discs. Yeah, all team stamped discs, and so yeah, just buying up all of them that I could, and the nickname kind of came from there.
Yeah, that's great. And I knew you were active in a lot of the different Facebook groups, so you're an admin for the dad group, is that right?
Yeah, the Discraft All Day page. I've been an admin since geez, like 2018 maybe for that page, 17, 18, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Again, was another way for me to be actively involved in the disc golf community, kind of on a different level, a little bit of a higher level, where seeing lots of the posts, interacting with a lot of different people, and really good community on the pages and stuff. So it was kind of a natural fit for me to jump on as an admin there.
Yeah, yeah, totally makes sense on my end. So that's kind of how I was exposed to you, and then I got re-exposed to you when you called me one day and recorded me
Yeah,
without
it's
my
on YouTube.
knowledge.
It's
Yeah,
on
without my
YouTube.
knowledge, by the way. And asked me to be on Underground. So how did Discraft Underground come to be with Team Stamp West?
Yeah, so the team stamp idea really led me to being interested in finding a way to be on Team Discraft. At the time, they had the ambassador team, but Bob kind of, I think, had a direction in mind at the time of kind of cutting the ambassador team as part of Team Discraft, and having this team that was more like just really Discraft fans, and also just good people doing good things in disc golf that kind of deserved some recognition, and maybe a small sponsorship to go with it, kind of like yourself. And so, um, yeah, I think he was kind of cooking on that idea. So it wasn't really a good fit for me to join Team Discraft as part of the ambassador team at the time, kind of unbeknownst to me a little bit, but as fast forward and looking back a little bit. So yeah, I being so active on the pages, I was really doing a lot of stuff. I felt like it was kind of weird that like we didn't have somebody that was really pushing the pros a ton at a lot of the tournaments. I think at the time, Discraft's marketing department was really small, and he was focused on a lot of different things. And
Yeah.
so, I kind of took it upon myself, like, let's do some tournament recaps. I followed the players as much as I could through scores or Jomez coverage at the time. There wasn't quite as much live, or maybe the Pro Tour was just kicking up around that time. But yeah, I was just doing some recaps on the pages and just trying to make myself valuable to Discraft.
Yeah.
Not only as a fan, but again, we're kind of getting back to that origin of trying to find a way to be involved at higher levels, kind of as I'm growing in disc golf. So as that kind of grows, Bob Giulio took notice, and so one day in probably May of 2018, I think it was April, May of 2018. He gave me a call and he said, "Hey, we've got this thing we've kind of been thinking out about for a while. We haven't really felt like we had the right person. Could you? But we think you might be a fit. Could you come over to the factory and we'll sit down and have a chat?" So we sat down, had a chat about the underground, just kind of some very preliminary details, how we would sort of start things, and so that was kind of where we kicked off.
Yeah. Well, yeah, well, it's obviously become, in my humble opinion, the best manufacturer team for ambassadors and enthusiasts and marketers and things like that out in the game right now.
Yeah,
And your work with Underground kind of led you to now working for Discraft full time. Is that correct?
yeah. So I'm full time at Discraft now, as of a couple of weeks ago. Here, haven't really done an announcement or anything. It's just kind of an employment change, so didn't maybe warrant an announcement. Although maybe I'll do something at some point here. But yeah, I'm full time at Discraft now.
Well, congratulations on that. And if that was breaking news that wasn't supposed to be broken, this won't come
No,
out for like a week or two. So like
now we're
you got
good.
time to launch that. So what's the favorite part of working for the mothership?
Yeah, there's a lot of different parts. Again, just being involved at a higher level, really at the highest level. Working at the factory. My title is essentially Bob Giulio's assistant. There's a million things going on in disc golf, and so just really helping him with communication. There's a lot of back and forth with different things, event sponsorships, players, just a lot of that stuff. So really, just helping him out anywhere that he needs some help, and with at any given point, a thousand things going on, from
Yeah.
production to tournaments to players. It honestly blows my mind at the fact that he was the only person doing his job, and because I'm busy myself already, jumping into this in a full time capacity. So now there's essentially two people that are kind of filling all of those tasks. So the fact that he was doing so many things on his own is a kind of a little
All right.
astounding to
All
me.
right. Let's not make his head any bigger. All right.
Hey, it's true though. It's true. There's so much going on in disc golf behind the scenes. There's so much coming down the pipeline. It's going to be a really exciting year, and just really an exciting future for disc golf over the next like 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, it's to think back where we were 3 to 5 years ago, and to think about where we could be in 3 to 5 years is fills me with a ton of excitement as someone that works full time in the industry. And it's just we keep providing better and better things for the enthusiast, the player, and the fan. So I'm excited to see where that goes.
Yeah,
So obviously, in your role now, this is now a job being the captain of Discraft Underground, and that's a lot to manage. We've got a team here at Great Lakes Disc that's about 200 people. You've got a pretty big team too, from all over the United States and the world. What's your best advice to someone that is looking to get on Underground or maybe another team, as far as how to get noticed by someone like you?
yeah. I think the simple phrase that I like to use with people is consistent and creative social media. It's fairly simple, but it's really it's a surprise to me sometimes. With it is difficult. It really is a commitment. We are looking for people that love disc golf. The Underground is a relatively small sponsorship, so we are not looking for you to be touring, to be living a full disc golf life, or full time in disc golf by any means. We just are looking for people that really love disc golf and are sharing their passion for disc golf. So really, the good people. We're always doing character checks for anybody that we're adding to the team. We've got such a network out there now of players that are playing tournaments and are in different areas. It's pretty easy to find somebody that is close to somebody that we're maybe interested in adding. Make sure they're good people, and then the social media component as well. I think that there are so many people that are doing stuff with disc golf, whether you're going to putting leagues or you're playing tournaments or you're just going and playing practice rounds. There's a lot of ways to share what you're doing, and especially if you're already throwing some or mostly discraft, that's a great direction as well. But I always suggest to people, if you're trying to get in that rhythm, just start with one picture or one video every time you are going and doing something disc golf related. Whether again, it's a putting league, you can take a photo of a cool hole at your putting league. If you're out on the disc golf course, take a photo of a cool hole on the course, or take a video of yourself throwing. Take a video of some cool nature that you see on the course. I think
Yes, love nature.
disc
Yes.
golfers love nature. It's a
Yeah.
common theme with all of us. So it doesn't even have to be a basket or a tee pad or a shot throwing. I think that there's a lot of different ways that people can kind of share their love of disc golf, and that's something that we really like to see when we are looking at sponsoring players.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely has to be more than just one aspect. So, you can't just be great, or you can't just be a good player or great at social media. You got to be a little bit of everything. And I know
Yeah,
from the Great Lakes standpoint, we love to see people involved in their community too. I mean, that's
yeah,
just a huge thing. So,
absolutely. Yep.
um, you know, I get to look at a lot of people. Obviously, you get way more applicants than me, thank goodness, because that tires me out. But is there anyone maybe on the team or maybe even off the team now that you can call out and say this person does a great job, as far as their marketing or their posts or whatever?
Yeah, Emily Dale, is our co-captain for the Underground, I think is a good example. She has a couple different sponsors even beyond Discraft, but she does a really good job sharing her love of disc golf and just doing a good job kind of taking a photo or a video every time she's going out and doing something. A lot of times she's in her disc golf gear, or she's got her
Yeah.
her discraft cart, and so there's just a lot of opportunities when you're on the course, you're at leagues, you're working on building a new course, whatever it is. There's a lot of different ways to share what you're doing, so I think she's a great example. I'll shout out one of our other players that I feel like doesn't get enough recognition, and that's Nick
Okay.
Larson.
Okay.
He is, I believe, out of Idaho. I think that's correct. But he's a guy who I kind of pushed him to build his following before we added him, and he was just doing so many good things. He does great content. He's a really cool dude, and I really love following him. It always surprises me that he doesn't have like 3,000 followers or something, because he's just a cool guy doing cool stuff,
Yeah.
and sharing it with the world. So go find him on Instagram.
And you were right. He is from Idaho.
Perfect.
So
Yeah.
great job. Way to look like you know your people. So that's
Hey.
awesome. So obviously we got to talk a little bit about frisbees. We've gotten to play rounds together. We talk a lot about, shots and you've got a little bit different game than me, but do you have a favorite like mold or shot type or anything when it comes to Discraft?
Yeah, favorite shot type is probably just straight shots. I feel like my form is not where it needs to be for throwing hyzer bombs, so hyzers are sometimes a little hit or miss for me. So just straight shots, I feel like it is one of the toughest shots in disc golf to just throw something straight and neutral. So I feel like it's a great shot shape, definitely my favorite. For a favorite disc, the Wasp has been my longtime favorite disc. So much glide, good stability. The one that I've had in my bag is like a 2008 Elite Z Wasp or something. So it basically flies like a stable buzz at this point.
Yeah.
It's not truly a Wasp anymore, but it's just such a versatile mold. You can hit it on hyzer, get it to pop up a little bit when it's beat in. You can throw it flat and still get really good glide, but a consistent, stable finish. So yeah, the Wasp I think is probably my favorite mold.
Oh, wow. See, that threw me for a loop. I wouldn't have guessed that. That's classic. That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Before we close up, what's a bold prediction for 2024?
Man, I was thinking about this one today. I feel like I have a couple.
Okay. Ooh, I like it.
First off, I think this is a year where Calvin Heiberg gets a major.
Mhm.
I feel like he's been knocking on that door, and I feel like I feel like there's a good chance that he gets one this year. He's obviously a really good player consistently in that top five category. So I think this is the year he pulls through and probably does that. I have two more. Zach Arlinghouse. This is
Yeah.
a kid that we've talked about in house, me and Gary, a little bit, but I feel like he's due for a Pro Tour win. I don't know if that's on an Elite Series or maybe like I'm not sure if they're not Silver Series anymore, but at some
Huge.
level of the Pro Tour. I think he gets a win this year. I think he's a young talent that is due for something big like that. And I think this might be the boldest one, but Holland Hanley wins FPO Worlds this year. She has had two really great years. Her game continues to improve. I watched her play obviously a little bit at the All Star coverage. Last offseason I got to spend some time with her, and she really puts in a lot of work and takes disc golf very seriously, especially on the athletic side of it. And so I think this is the year we see Holland Hanley do some big things.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to play with her and Bob at last year's All Stars or
Nice.
slash Discraft or Pro Tour conference or whatever they called it.
Yeah.
And I was extremely impressed with her game. And then, to watch her even grow from last year to this year's All Stars, a lot of success for her. So yeah, hard not to cheer for her. She seems like she's putting in the work, and she's great on social too. That's another person. Who's really good on social. That is a great follow if you don't follow her. So you should definitely do that. All right,
Yeah.
it's giveaway time. If you're
Woo!
still watching all the way to the end, thank you. We're gonna do a Discraft hat and a Great Lakes Disc Buzz. I feel like that's a good combo for us to give away. How should we give these away? What should they comment?
What should they comment? Let's comment your favorite Discraft player. We've got
Ooh,
so many good players. There's some obvious ones, some world champs, and then
yeah,
there's some new signs even that we had this off season that I think are going to bring a lot of fans over too. So let's go with
yeah.
that.
All right, just comment your favorite Discraft player below. Remember to like and subscribe. Wes, we couldn't thank you enough for being here tonight. Seriously, we know you had to put kids down, get everything rocking and rolling. We appreciate it for sure.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, thank you. Till next time.